Hi guys, TotallyDubbed here. Today I'm doing a video review on the Creative Outlier Air. These are the first true wireless earbuds from Creative themselves, and they come in at an affordable £70. In the US I found them for around $120. Links will be down in the description below in case you're interested. Now, unlike a lot of YouTubers or even a lot of reviewers on the internet, I'm not paid, I'm not biased in any sort, I'm not sponsored. All I'm going to tell you on this video is my honest, unbiased opinion when it comes to earphones and headphones. I've heard about 150 odd. Now in this review, not only will I be comparing it to the RHA TrueConnect and the Momentum True Wireless, I'll be also comparing them to the TicPods 3, the AirPods, and even the Samsung Galaxy Buds, which I greatly disliked in terms of sound quality. Now, for £70, you'd expect these earphones to really be kind of starved of features and to sound terrible. But that's absolutely not the case. So first of all, what you get in the box is pretty simple. You got the charging case with the earphones themselves, you got a USB-C to USB-A and some extra tips. Pretty basic and, to be honest, to be expected with these true wireless earbuds that have come up in the market. The case itself has 4 little LED lights, which you might not be able to see because my camera's probably not going to pick it up. It's got left and right and a battery indicator and if it's been charging. It's got a USB-C port, so yes, it's not using an outdated micro USB port, USB-C, which means that it charges about full from 0 to full in around 1 to 2 hours. Of course, your mileage may vary depending on the remaining charge of the case. Now the case itself provides 20 hours of playback time, whilst the earbuds themselves provide 10 hours on a single charge. Now that is more than most earbuds can provide, period. No matter if you've got the AirPods or if you've got like the Sennheiser Momentums, which are the most expensive wireless earbuds on the market, these will outlast them. And their battery life, I must say, is sensational. Now, getting them out the case, they will automatically pair to your phone via Bluetooth. And what's quite interesting over here is that they've got Bluetooth aptX. Now, for those who don't know what aptX is, it's more advanced level of codec. And if your phone supports it, for example, if you've got an Android device, they will transmit at a better quality, therefore meaning less of a loss of quality between your phone and the earphones. The Sennheiser Momentums are the only other earbuds I've come across that have aptX codec as well. Every other earphone, and that means under £200, all have AAC or SBC codec. So for a £70 set of earbuds having the aptX codec, top-notch creative. Now, in terms of wireless transmission, it's a lot of questions around these in terms of, you know, are they going to connect properly to your phone? Do they lose sort of transmission? Is there a desync sort of issue like the Galaxy Buds had? Is there some sort of weird issue that when you put them in the case they don't stop working, they continue working like the Momentums had? Is there sometimes certain lip sync issues that some people had with the RHAs? I didn't have them. Well, I can safely say these are the only earbuds I've ever come across, and I've reviewed quite a few earbuds now, that don't have any wireless transmission problems. And that's very rare for me to say that, because every single earbud, no matter the price, and that extends up to £280 all the way down to £30, £40, have had some sort of wireless transmission problem, be it desynchronization, to be it from losing connection with the phone. These didn't have any problems whatsoever. And if you do run into any weird issues, put them back in the case and reset them. It takes literally 5 seconds, and you'll only have to do that once. And I'm only saying that is because Creative themselves said to me, you know, if you ever experience problems, this is what you can do. So ultimately, this is the best wireless transmission I've had with wireless earbuds, so it already got me a bit excited. Now, in terms of the build quality and design of them, they're not like the most visually appeasing or appealing, shall I say, earbuds. Put them in the ear, you'll be able to see that they're relatively bulky and they look pretty big. They're kind of similar to the Momentums in terms of their size. If I put the Momentum in my left ear, you'll be able to see the sort of design. It doesn't have that shiny, glossy Sennheiser look, but in terms of isolation, this means that they passively block out a lot of noise simply because of their sheer size. That does also lead in terms of like a negative is because due to their size, you might find they're a bit too big for your ear, especially if you've got very small ears or sort of ear canals, you might find them a little bit of a problem. Also, in terms of their tips themselves, they're very shallow. You might not be able to see, or the camera might not pick it up. They're very shallow tips, whereas most earbuds or earphones, shall I say, have got a little bit of a deeper sort of they go deeper in your ear canal. So these kind of sit more loosely on the outside of your ears, but it's not a problem in terms of isolation. It just might be a little bit annoying for some in terms of ear canal, because that sort of top lip of that ear tip kind of not scratches but feels on top of your ear canal. As I said, mileage may vary. I didn't notice a problem, but I know that people will potentially have problems with them. So it's something worth pointing out. Right and left indicator is pretty much indicated within the earbud themselves, very easy to see. And then the buds have got a sort of illumination on the outside. You can see it's kind of illuminated and it kind of turns on. These are because they're trying to seek for my phone. Once they're connected, then there's no sort of illumination. No, there's no RGB sort of customization over here. One thing I should note, and thing that I didn't really like about the earbuds, is their button. They're a bit hard to press in comparison to the RHAs, which I'm going to put the RHA in my left ear. The RHAs click very easily and kind of effortlessly, whilst the Creatives require more of a press, and you might see almost a pressure being applied on my eardrum. They just require a little bit more effort. So I just wish that the button was just a little bit easier to press and just a little bit more, not responsive, but just easier. Now, the fact that they use physical buttons, to me, is something I really like. I'm not a big fan of these touch controls, even though they can be quite useful for being on the fly. I just find that sometimes you might accidentally press something you don't want. This is pretty clear when you press once or twice or 3 times that it's exactly what they're doing, or when you're holding them down in terms of the increase or decrease the volume. They can also act as your voice assistant sort of shortcut. They don't have a built-in voice assistant, but they will communicate with your smartphone's one. So in my case, it would be Google Assistant because I'm on Android, and therefore enable that assistant to be used on the earbuds. Other than that, in terms of build quality and design, I don't think there's much else to say. They are, I think, IPX certified, IPX5 sweat-proof certified. In other words, you know, they'll survive some sweat and a little bit of light rain, but, you know, don't submerge them. It's pretty much obvious. And other than that, in terms of call quality, I tested with my girlfriend, and she found that all the earbuds that I mentioned over here were pretty much equivalent, other than the Sennheisers, which were slightly better in picking up my voice. So props to my girlfriend for testing that with me. So now let's move on to the sound quality, and really the most important part of this review is the sound quality. And I must say, I was completely blown away by the Creative Outlier Air. And the reason why is because of their spacious sound. Something that I noticed with the Sennheiser Momentums, they've got this kind of spacious, luxurious kind of sound that you wouldn't get normally with earbuds. Most earbuds sounds kind of congested. So, for example, having 3 different earbuds in my on my hand, the RHA sound a little bit more closed sounding, a little bit more. The instruments didn't have as much space to breathe. Very good, don't get me wrong, but in comparison to the Sennheisers, they sounded completely claustrophobic. Whereas the Creative Outlier Air sounds like a Sennheiser, which is literally 4 times the price. And I was so surprised to hear this in a set of sub £100 earbuds that it really took me by surprise. Comparing them with the RHAs, and comparing them with the TicPods, comparing them with the AirPods, and comparing them with the Galaxy Buds, the Creative Outlier Air completely outshone all of them. Considering their cost twice or 2.5 times the price in some respects, it was extremely impressive to see this sort of wide soundstage and deep sort of soundstage that you normally only get from a set of £280 earbuds. So soundstage is definitely its absolute strength, but what about the rest? Well, it's got a great amount of sub bass. It extends pretty well in terms of the sub bass. It's not kind of subdued. However, the mid bass is a little bit wobbly. It's not as precise as the Sennheiser nor the RHAs, which sound a little bit more controlled in that mid bass tone. You just expect a little bit more quality in these 2 earbuds than you get from the Creative. It's not to say they're bad, it's just that you do notice a little bit of a difference when you're comparing them like for like, or when you're taking them out of your ear like I was doing. Then in terms of mid-range quality, the mid-range of the Creative Outlier Air is actually very impressive, and in some respects much better than the RHAs. I would say it's kind of on par with the TicPods in terms of having that more forward-sounding sound signature, whereas the RHA sounded a little bit more recessed. The Creative Outlier Air kind of leaned towards more the open, forward-sounding mids that you kind of get with the Sennheiser Momentums. Again, not really on par with the Sennheiser Momentums, but still very, very good considering it's a quarter of its price. Then moving on to the highs, and here is what I really loved about the Creative Outlier Air. It was pretty much on par, if not just a little bit below the Sennheiser Momentums. In this respect, Air produced a very nice extension in the high end. It rolled off at the very top, but it wasn't sibilant, it wasn't over the top, whereas the RHAs, the TicPods, the AirPods and the Galaxy Buds all sound a little bit sibilant, especially the Galaxy Buds, which are ridiculously highly pitched for their sound, and put to shame by the RHAs. Here the Outlier Air sounds just a lot more smoother and just a lot more enjoyable. So overall, in terms of sound quality, it's unbelievable how these Creative Outlier Air sound. If you double the price, I'll be more than happy to recommend them at £140. In fact, I would be happy to recommend these earbuds at under £200. They're that good, to the point that as much as I love the RHAs, I don't think they're going to see any more light of day, simply because the Creative Outlier Air are going to be my go-to earbuds. Of course, there's the Sennheiser Momentums, which, in terms of raw sound quality, still nothing comes close to these, but the Outlier Air really do give it a run for its money. But given it's a quarter of its price, well, I know what most people are going to choose, £70 versus £280. I'm sure if you're minted, I know what you're going to pick, but if you're not privileged, then I'm pretty sure you're going to pick the Creative Outlier Air and be absolutely gobsmacked by the sound quality that these produce. So that's pretty much it. That is my verdict. It's not often I really am excited and kind of rave about a product, but the Creative Outlier Air are one of the products that I must absolutely tell you about and recommend, to the point that I don't understand why anyone would buy anything other than this or the Sennheiser Momentums. If you've got a £300 budget, get the Sennheiser Momentums. If you've got anything under that, get the Creative Outlier Air. They're that good. And that's coming from someone who, has a bunch of different earphones and DACs and has reviewed about 120 to 150 different earphones and headphones, and is one that's really honest and unbiased when it comes to giving you an opinion. So that is my opinion. If you appreciated it, make sure you give it a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know in the comments below what you think. And if you get these, let me know if you face any problems. I'll be very much intrigued to know if you have any problems. Like I got with the RHA, some people were like, oh, I had certain problems here. With the Sennheiser, some people were like, oh, I didn't experience those problems that you experienced. It's always intriguing to know. Every person has a different phone, has a different setup, and commutes in a different way. So share me your experiences, especially if you've got these. Alright guys, I've been Totally Dubbed. Hopefully you enjoyed this review. Take care and bye bye.